Brothers, you know, it's kind of remarkable how things work out. I just got done with a video not that long ago talking about how there are certain content creators like the Act Man, Angry Joe, Mighty Keith in the gaming space that are still denying that wokeness is a thing, that identity politics is a thing, that there is a major push by far left radical progressives within the gaming space to fundamentally change and alter media from the past to make it more in line with quote unquote modern audiences. I just got done talking about that video about these people still denying that this exists, and lo and behold, what comes across my timeline? Well, there's another remake, and they grotesquified the women yet again. Now, if you don't know what I mean by grotesquification of women, where you have female characters that in the past were attractive, or maybe wore revealing clothing, or were part of a storyline that today maybe is a little bit outside of the norm of trying to get, you know, everyone and their mother to play your game, even if it's not meant to appeal to everyone. It's like Game of Thrones is very, very popular, but it's still not for everyone, and that's okay. You shouldn't make a show or a game or a comic book for everyone. It can be for everyone, but you shouldn't make it for everyone. You should make it for the people that are interested in that niche of that world. Because if you try to broaden your horizons too much, what you're ultimately going to end up with is the old saying of the jack of all trades is a master of none. I'd rather somebody do one thing phenomenally well and knock it out of the park and master that thing than somebody that tries a whole bunch of stuff and fails every time. So, this problem is something that we've seen for the past 15 years, where game developers decide, we're going to remake this, we're going to update the graphics, but there were problematic elements in the old games, and now we have to change it. So now the female characters in this Gothic 1 remake, they're ugly. They are just objectively disgusting looking. Now, I know that some of the furries and degenerates and homosexuals that usually come and try to critique my channel are going to have a problem with this, but the reality is that the majority of normal people that aren't in your perverted, mentally ill cult, they don't want to look at unattractive women. And that's true of men and women. So, I am speaking for both genders when I say we want to keep women attractive. We don't want them looking like men. And the reality is, despite all the caterwailing about opinions like mine, if you were to post this picture and say to a girl, you look like this, they would block you. They'd be offended. Because really, people will act in the way that is truthful rather than what they say. Girls will say, oh no, this is fine. Some girls will. But they know that this is ugly and they know that this is wrong. But anyway, let's listen to Asmongold real quick. Talk about his perspective on some of the problems within the gaming industry, because I think this is applicable to this.
That companies get infected with these people, and then once it starts, it just gets worse over time. It just gets worse and worse and worse over time until people just totally lose their fucking minds. Until they destroy the company and they destroy the games. Like, they're like a cancer.
I mean, this is so obvious that it still befuddles me. That you have people that are pretending that this stuff doesn't exist. You have people that are these far-left progressives in the gaming space, in the content creator space, that pretend that this isn't real. No, this doesn't happen. No, you're just making it up. No, you're seeing things. No, they're trying to gaslight you. Everyone sees this. You can't miss it.
What the fuck is this?
Certain there are also developers who made this decision and
Corporate
following
cancer.
social trends. But I do also think that Embracer is a big reason why this is happening. And it's just so sad because the types of people that they are trying to appeal to are not going to show up and consume this content. I mean,
well, that's because none of the people actually want to be that person.
No. And a lot of the times, these companies are subsidized by corporations, or at least they have been in the past, by even bigger corporations and lobby groups that give them money to offset the money that they lose as a result of going down this path. Because for them, the message and the social control is more important than anything else. But the reality is that at the end of the day, you should not be focusing on how much money you make. You should be focusing on what is the legacy going to be for this product. Because if a product is good, well, you can make other games, sure, but you can sell merch, you can get people invested in the collector's editions and different things like that. Look at The Legend of Zelda. The Legend of Zelda has a pedigree going back, over 25 years. This game, well over 25 years. You get my point. I think they're coming on their 40th anniversary. But it's still a popular franchise. It's still beloved by people, even after all these years. And they sell merch and car stickers and all this other stuff because they relied on this quality approach. And I'm not saying that every Zelda game is amazing, 10 out of 10. But what I am saying is, when you put care into the product for your audience, when you live up to the legacy of the franchise that you are trying to remake or resell, or readapt or reboot, whatever you're trying to do, you have more prospects and more options in the long run. And that's why I advocate for sticking, pretty strictly to the idea that we're going to make a faithful adaptation. And that gets us into this. So this is from the company themselves, I believe. Gothic News. We wish to make something very clear. We are right now being accused of pushing a political or social agenda on our game. We wish to assure you that we do not have any agenda of any kind. That's a lie. That is a lie. Look at these characters. They look like men cosplaying women. You did that deliberately. You did that intentionally. But you want to say, oh, we wish to assure you that we don't have any agenda. Anyone claiming otherwise is just purely wrong, as proven by our extensive catalog of over 150 published games. I don't care about your 150 published games. Look at these women. Women? This looks like Steven Crowder without a beard. What the fuck are you doing? We are focused on making the best possible Gothic game, and everything we do has a reason in the game that will be made clear once you play. No, there is no reason. There is no reason why you deliberately made them less attractive. Now, let me just preface this. I know that there are a lot of people that, in order to cope with this, say, oh, you just want a goon. Now, the irony is that those people are the biggest fucking gooners on the planet. They're degenerates. These people are fucking perverts and freaks. And a lot of them in their past have sexual assault, rape, or pedophilia. It's crazy. I got criticized by a guy named Internet Adjacent about a week or two ago. Guy really went in on my channel. Turns out the guy was a gay furry that had sexually assaulted and forced into sex another gay furry. You can't make that shit up. But that's the internet. These people that are accusing you of gooners are the biggest gooners. So don't ever fall into that trap. Don't ever let yourself be manipulated like that. The reality is, they know why we want these games to be better, and we know why we want these games to be better. We don't want this dog shit, creepy, despicable, progressive ideology infecting a medium that we love. Because we know it's never just one thing. It's always an encroaching, destructive element. It is corrosive, the way that far-left progressivism works. And very few companies, if any, are able to take on all of this dead weight and also maintain a level of authenticity. So, yeah. but there won't be any form of censorship or effeminacy. Some characters have different roles, but the main theme and plots remain the same. Yeah, I don't believe you. I don't believe you at all. And even your boy Asmongold says they're lying. Why did you change it then? Yeah, that's a good question. And they have no answer. They have no answer. Why did you change the characters? Why did you make them more ugly? Let me just refresh your memory. Why did you make the characters more ugly? Why did you choose that? Why did you choose to censor them? Well, we know why. We know exactly why you did it. That's what you chose to do. And then you were saying, no, nothing to see here. Well, no, we see it all. And we have seen it all over the years. And now these corporations are lying. They're misrepresenting, they're distorting, they're distracting, they're doing anything they can. No, buy our game. There's not wokeness. There's no justification for what you did. And you should be shamed and humiliated. And I'm glad that a channel like Asmongold, as big as he is calling these people out. And these people should be afraid to do this. They should be afraid for their career and their reputation. What I want is to shame these people so badly that when they're sitting around in the boardrooms where there's no one watching, I want them to be like, yeah, we can't do this. We need to make the characters more attractive. Otherwise, we're going to get shit on by Asmongold and Tactikaltemplar and all these other people. Like, oh, this is going to, like, sink our game. We need to make the characters attractive like they were in the original. Yeah, we need to undo the censorship. Yeah, I want that to be the conversation that naturally occurs because these people who are genuinely awful are afraid. I want them to be afraid. I can smell its fear. These people need to be afraid. And I'm not talking about out of physical violence. That's not the type of fear that I'm talking about. I'm talking about when they're safe and comfortable in the boardroom, drinking their tea or their, soy-infused latte, that they fear for their career and their reputation, that they know that by going down this path, that it's going to cost them money, it's going to cost them time, it's going to cost them effort. So they choose not to do it. I want the boardrooms to self-regulate themselves. Anyone who brings up this woke shit is immediately alienated and ostracized and exiled. That they're shamed out of the company. That's what I want. I want to return to normalcy. I want games for gamers. And an attractive woman is not just for gooners. In fact, these games aren't for gooners. You don't know what a gooner is. I've seen the type of gotcha games that gooners go to. And it's not this. And these people know that. These fucking freaks, these homunculus, they know that. But they lie and they lie and they lie and they lie, and that's really all they do. They just manipulate, distract, all because they don't want the change, because they agree with the change, because they're all ugly, broken, damaged, godless, despicable souls that are just oozing their way across the planet until they die. And they don't really have anything to live for or any value or anything to provide their family or the internet or commentary or culture. So they just literally are existing. So anyway, yeah, I don't think they're going to change this. I think they're going to keep doubling down. But yeah, at least they know that people are up to their... People are aware of their scam. They're aware of the grift. And yeah, they're not having any of it. So keep the pressure on. Keep bullying these people. And maybe one day we can get back to normalcy and they can make games for gamers rather than the mentally ill freaks that exist on Blue Sky. Anyway, that'll do it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.